Hi, my name is Angelica, and this is the Angelica Unfiltered channel where I talk about health, wellness, weight loss, but mostly fat acceptance. As you may know, I have reacted to all of my old fat acceptance content, so I am trying to pivot and do reactions from other creators. Today I wanted to talk about this video I found from a plus size influencer who primarily covers fashion and every once in a while talks about fat acceptance. I have followed her for so long, years and years and years. I think even before I got into the fat acceptance sphere, and I guess I still do. I don't know if I unfollowed her after this video, but she posted this video and it had a lot of awful takes. I actually sent it over to my YouTube friend, 𝒶𝓉𝓃𝓾𝓃, and I was like, I'm surprised actually no one has talked about her before, because she's talked about a lot of fat acceptance rhetoric in the past. But let's get into this newer post. I believe she also does make YouTube videos, but I feel like she is more prevalent on TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Don't get mad at me when I tell you this, but your before and after will not save you from being fat. I think the rise of Ozempic has made everyone so brazen and bold to talk about weight loss.
This might be a hot take, but I'm so motherfucking sick of hearing people say, "What, the rise of Ozempic?" Shut up. Like, you don't sound like an intellect. I'm just, no offense, before Ozempic and all these other GLP-1s and semaglutides got popular, like, no one's wanted to be fat still. Like, people were still exercising and losing weight with other means. It's just for like a 5-year period, maybe like 2017 to like 2023. It was okay to be a little chubby, but it was never okay to be morbidly obese, okay? It was never hot or trendy, even though Tess Holliday was on One magazine and walked a runway as shock value. Sorry, I already know to be so bitchy. I am getting over a cold, and this video just like pissed me off to no end.
In such a fatphobic way. Listen, personally, I don't think it's my business, nor do I care what you do with your body.
She does not care, guys. She does not care what you do with your body, even though she made this video talking about people losing weight and how it's fat phobic. You losing weight, people losing weight has actually never crossed her mind before. She doesn't care. She does not give a rat's ass, in case you haven't noticed.
Care what you do with your body and if you lose or you gain weight. But I think posting about it is damaging for you and for the people who are looking at it.
How is it damaging for me to see before and after photos? Because when I see a before and after photo of myself, I see this is Angelica when she was 270 pounds. And this is Angelica now at 205 pounds. That's what I see. I don't look at my fat self and go, wow, she was such a fat, lard piece of shit who just sat on the couch and didn't do nothing. Her life had absolutely no value. She was better off 6 feet underground. No one liked her. No one cared about her. No one loved her. Like, I'm still the same human being. I still have the same friends and family. I still have the same job. I still have the same clothes. Don't have the same dog though, because he died. Sorry, gotta make a joke so I feel better. Still have the same tattoos. In a relationship with the same person. I just lost weight. That's literally the difference. The difference is I am less weight and I have healthier habits. And I'm on medication for my mental health. Those are the 3 differences.
I try to understand why, and then I try to put myself in your shoes.
Thank you. Queen of empathy.
And when I look at it from the grand scheme of things, from the big general perspective, it makes sense. Of course you want to post your before and after photos. Many see it as a notable accomplishment.
It is an accomplishment. I mean, I still have a lot of weight to lose, but to lose 70 pounds, I've had to change so much about my behavior and my lifestyle. How is that not an accomplishment? See, the thing is, when I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it with my full pussy. I'm gonna put my heart and soul into it. So me losing 70 pounds and continuing to lose weight is an accomplishment, because not a lot of people can do it. Losing weight is hard, it's stressful, it's annoying, it's time consuming, it's difficult, but I fucking did it. It's like going to school and getting good grades. It is accomplishing something. Because dedicating your time and your energy to something and having a positive outcome is something to be celebrated. I don't look at people that got their master's degree and go, that's really not a noticeable accomplishment. Whatever. I don't care that you worked so hard and went into a bunch of debt and probably stayed up hours crying, stressed out, getting gray hair because of all your tests and exams and reading and stuff.
Of course you're posting about your weight loss. It makes sense, right? And I don't blame you. I think that wanting to be part of this thinness club is something that society is pushing us all into. And
thinness club. I feel like declaring a thinness club as some sort of exclusive social gathering, social group is still uplifting thinness. Even though she doesn't think it's better to be skinny or it's not good to lose weight, she still is uplifting and showing some sort of hierarchy to people that weigh less, to people that have lost weight, to people that are in shape, to people that are at a healthy weight. That implies that if you are not in the thinness club, then you are excluded. You're some fucking loser in the corner, which kind of just feels like a victim mindset. Like, I'm too fat to be here. I'll be over here in the corner.
It turns to be that maybe one of the reasons that you post this is to inspire other fat people to lose weight.
Of course, people lose weight for themselves, but people also post online to not only show their accomplishments, because everyone would like some flowers every once in a while, but it is to inspire others. Why does she post online? Why does she post fashion content online? Because she wants to inspire fat people to have cool style and experiment and try new clothes, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think she is fucking dope style. I think she is super creative, but most people post online to inspire others. And, you know, seeing other people lose weight has inspired me to do the same, because there is rhetoric in the fat acceptance community that states being fat is genetic. You cannot change your weight. Your current weight is where you're supposed to be. If you try and lose weight, 95% of diets fail. You will gain all of the weight back, if not more. So seeing people online that have lost a substantial amount of weight and have kept it off for years is inspiring, because that helped me deconstruct fat acceptance rhetoric and understand that the shit that people are spewing online is incorrect. One of the creators that I'm thinking of is Alex So, I think her name is. I don't know. People need to start like saying their full names online so I can know how to pronounce it. Got a little dyslexia up in here. But she used to be in the fat acceptance sphere. I think at one point she was like 280 and she's down to 175 or something right now. I think she's lost more. That's over 100 pounds. She was in almost the same exact shoes as I was. Overweight in the fat acceptance community, believing all of the same horse shit that people say on the internet. But seeing that she was able to lose weight just through diet and exercise, not gonna lie, at first I was very bitter. I was resentful. I was mad that she had success. I was mad that she left the fat acceptance community. But when I was able to actually work through all of those feelings, I realized that I was just jealous of her. So yeah, if you get pissed off because you see before and after photos of other people or they trigger you, maybe you need to do some internal work instead of just projecting onto the posters.
But then that's where you lose me, because I thought this whole process was for you.
What if like two things could be true at once? What if I like to film YouTube videos to help people get out of the fat acceptance community, but what if I also film it for myself to be accountable and to continue to lose weight? What if three things could be true at once? And then I also post YouTube videos so I can make a little bit of money and hopefully save enough money to get out of this apartment that me and my husband have been in for 6 years. What if multiple things could be true at once? Just an idea though. Food for thought.
What the point of posting it is, we can see it. We see you have gotten into a smaller body now.
If you've seen it, then why is it so hard for people to talk about it? If you've realized that someone has lost a substantial amount of weight, then why can't you hear them talk about it? Sounds like a you problem.
What ends up happening and what you're showcasing is that you went from being the oppressed to being the oppressor.
Guys, you are not oppressed if you're fat. Actually, let's look up the definition of oppression. Prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. The state of being subject to unjust treatment or control. A lot of people throw around oppression in the fat acceptance community, but it's literally just the consequences of their actions. Like J-Bay demanding bigger airplane seats and wider hallways. If you can't fit in an airplane seat, first of all, it is a privilege to travel. If you cannot fit in an airplane seat, that is the consequences of your own actions. If you are too fat to walk down a hallway, that is the consequences of your actions. You are eating too much to the point that you've gotten so large that a certain item or place cannot serve you even though it serves the average person. And let me remind you that 50% of the people in the United States are overweight. Someone just losing weight or being thin does not make them an oppressor. As I continue to lose weight, eventually I will become a healthy size. That does not mean I am oppressing fat people. I'm not stealing from you. I'm not hurting you. I'm not degrading you. It's not like I'm a billionaire. Like, billionaires are literally billionaires because they were able to exploit so many workers and benefit off of low wages that they have massed extremes amount of wealth. You could call a billionaire an oppressor. That I understand that as a blanket statement, but someone being thin doesn't automatically make them an oppressor. Like, that just sounds absolutely fucking insane. A majority of my friends are thin. Are they oppressing me? No. They don't even acknowledge their size or my size because in reality, most thin people don't give a fuck about what they weigh or what they look like.
And you're okay with that.
I love the add-in. You're okay with being an oppressor because you've lost weight or you're thin. I don't even know how you sleep at night. You disgust me.
Here's the kicker. Statistically, proven by science, not by me, so don't get mad at me, you will gain the weight back.
The study that she's referencing and a lot of people do in the fat acceptance community is that 95% of diets fail and people gain back weight. And most of those diets are crash diets. They're not lifestyle changes. So if you lost 200 pounds and you gained 100 back, you probably did some things that you shouldn't have. You probably ate horrible food. Maybe you drank milkshakes every single day. There are consequences to our actions. If we eat in a calorie deficit, we lose weight. If we eat in a calorie maintenance, we will maintain our weight. If we eat in a calorie surplus, then we will gain weight. It's not some sort of like magical experience that we can't control that is just going to be pushed upon us. Like, there's a reason for things. There's a reason why people gain weight after they lose weight. It's because they are not maintaining those healthy lifestyle choices that they did to lose the weight. And you know what? It's fine to gain back weight. You know, shit happens. If I get down to 175 pounds and I get pregnant and I gain 40 pounds, well, guess what? I can go ahead and lose the weight again. Shit happens. Life happens. The most important thing is to not give up and not to settle being mediocre.
In 2 to 5 years. Now, I've met a lot of friends who have gotten multiple surgeries and have done things to lose weight. And I met them years ago and now they're back to their original weight, or some of them are probably a little bit even bigger than they were before.
Wait, I thought you didn't care about people's weight. Like, why are you keeping tallies on that? But also it's like, okay, if people gain their weight back, like I just said, shit happens, but also they probably aren't doing the right things. Like I said, you know, people can slip into bad habits again. What if someone can get into an accident and not be able to walk and they gain a bunch of weight on bed rest because all they do is eat? You know what I mean? Like, well, I understand there are life circumstances and shit gets tough. It doesn't mean just because someone's gained back weight that it was bound to happen anyway. Like, people can lose weight and keep it off. People can lose weight and gain it back. But there is a reason why both of those things happen. It's not some scientific mystery. It's because if you've lost a bunch of weight and then you gained it all back plus more, it's because you fucking ate too much. You slipped back into old patterns. You were overeating again, which got you back to your starting weight. But that doesn't mean you should give up. You can always try again. And just hearing shit like this, it just makes people not even want to try. And, you know, for the longest time when I was in the fat acceptance community, you know, I just feel like I was like walking around with my head down, just feeling so discouraged, so beat down, thinking, you know, I was going to be this fat and unhappy forever. I'll be unhealthy. I'll continue to overeat and drink and my mental health will be horse shit. But in reality, you can actually do things to better yourself and your life. You can implement better habits into your life to make things better, to make you happier, to make you lose weight, to make you healthier, to make your blood pressure go down. Being fat is not a medical mystery, just like how losing weight is not a medical mystery. There's a science behind it.
Now you find yourself being back into the same body that you hated before, the one that you were claiming was the worst version of you.
You know, I would say that Angelica at 272 pounds was the worst version of myself because I was so unhappy. You know, at that time, I felt like I had no reason to live. I was at home. I was working from home, in the house 24/7, isolated, alone most of the day, was eating to cope with my feelings. And then on top of that, I was overweight. I wasn't my worst version because I was overweight. There was many things that played into that. It was a very low point in my life for many reasons, not just because I was fucking pushing 300 pounds. Like, where's the nuance in all of this?
Shame or scold anyone. I think that it's a reasonable thing to want to be part of this thinness club because
most people don't lose weight to be part of this thinness club. There is no thinness club. Of course, there is, you know, people being nicer to you in society, but it's not like there's actually meetings being held. A majority of my friends are thin. They don't go fucking meet up every Thursday to talk about how good it is to be thin. They are just simply existing. Of course, there are some people, you know, that have disordered eating patterns or like body dysmorphia that really struggle with that, can hyper-focus on what they look like and their weight. But most people are just existing and don't hyper-focus on their appearance like people in the fat acceptance community do. My best friend, I have been best friends with her since 5th grade. I have spent countless hours, days, weeks, probably years with this woman. I have never heard her talk about her body and her weight. Never. Same thing with one of my good friends. That's a man. Been friends with him since we were 15. Never heard him talk about weight. Both of them. I've never heard them talk about their weight or eating or exercise habits in a provocative or unhealthy way. They simply exist in their body. Being thin is not their personality. There's actually like probably 50 things I could describe about them before I would even think to talk about their weight. But that is the first thing that fat people see when they look at other people. My friends have never pointed out my weight unless it was me talking about my weight loss. And I've known these people a majority of my life.
Society has made this the ideal place to be. We all think that thinness is where we're going to achieve self-love and careers and friendships and love.
Again, this is just uplifting thinness. A lot of people that have like disordered thinking or eating or behaviors, they think like, oh, if I lose weight, then like everything in my life is going to get better. But newsflash, a lot of the things in your life aren't shit because you are fat. A lot of things can probably suck because you're fat. Like it's hard to breathe, hard to go up and down the stairs. It's expensive to buy so much food to be a big weight. Your knees hurt, your back hurt. And of course, losing weight can help a lot of those things. But just because you lose weight doesn't mean that you're going to be in a happy relationship. Just because you lose weight doesn't mean that you're going to find your dream job. A lot of the times I feel like it's just people holding themselves back mentally when they're fat. I'm fat, so I can't do this and that and this and that and this and that. When most of the times they can. It's you putting up these roadblocks and not allowing yourself to experience life. Because guess what? I've been fat my entire life and I've never had a hard time finding someone to date. When I was 272 pounds, I was still with my then boyfriend, now husband. Sometimes it's a you thing. Sometimes it's like you mentally.
Partners. And of course we all believe that, you know, it's the long going myth of what thinness will bring to you. But I think it's more important for you to be at peace with yourself.
True. I feel like if you just love yourself and you have like true confidence, not just you posting on your Instagram, oh, I love myself, my body is so beautiful and sexy, I love being fat. You know, when you have the confidence to do things and put yourself out there and go on dates or start a business or, you know, whatever it is that your goals are, then you can accomplish those things. But you have to have a certain level of confidence. And usually people that are overweight have low self-esteem and they lack in the confidence department. So they're not going to be go-getters. They're not going to go reach after those goals. They're going to blame their weight instead of their actions.
You're a member of the Thin Club now, but remember that your membership can be revoked at any moment.
Groundbreaking. You can gain weight. Guess what? You can also lose it again. But there is no thinness club. That doesn't exist. Unless it's like Fight Club and you're not allowed to talk about it. And that's why I've never heard my friends talk about it.
And it'll push you back to the end of the line where you began.
That's such a victim mindset. Just playing the victim again.
And the vicious cycle continues.
And the vicious cycle continues. If you are constantly weight cycling, then you need to do some internal work and figure out why you keep losing and gaining weight. Of course, like I said, shit happens. But if you're someone that loses and gains the same 150 pounds, then there's probably something you gotta work on in here.
I know this is a heavy topic, but I have spoken a lot more about this in depth in an essay on...
Okay, now she's promoting I think her Substack, whatever. Girl's running a business. She's got to do it. She's got to do what she got to do. Sorry, I don't want to go subscribe to that. When I originally saw this video a couple days ago, I realized that there was some pushback in the comments, but it looks like there is a very long new comment that I wanted to read. So this is from Optical Goddess. She got like 30,000 followers. She has some credentials of some sort. I'm not familiar with those acronyms. And it looks like she has lost weight. Okay, so this reads, this is the first video where you've completely lost me. You can be fat positive and still choose to lose weight. Those two things are not mutually inclusive. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. Sharing my before and after photos is for me and for anyone who might see themselves in my story. I was 300 pounds, fat, confident, and genuinely happy. It was others. Guys, why are you making me read this? You know I got fucking dyslexia, among many other issues. When I was 300 pounds, fat, confident, and genuinely happy, it was other people's weight loss journeys, especially through VSG, that helped me believe I could do that too. And guess what? They were right. Because guess what? Weight loss is possible for everyone. I'm not here pushing weight loss, but I am proud that my journey has inspired others. It is also a part of me. It's also a part of what keeps me accountable. Some people do gain the weight back after, but others use tools like surgery, medication, or lifestyle changes and keep the weight off. That's their path, and it deserves to be respected. But calling folks who share their journey oppressors, ? As a person of color, that framing is wild to me. You've completely shifted the meaning from structural power to personal choice. That is very well written. That's where I truly checked out. People are allowed to be proud of themselves, especially when they've worked incredibly hard to heal and grow. What exactly was the point of your video? To discourage fat folks? It's giving, don't lose weight, you're gonna gain it back and be fat again energy. I'm shocked, actually, LOL. Yeah. And it's really interesting to see a person of color, specifically, I'm going to assume she identifies as female because, let's see if I can click on her profile. Okay, I'm going to assume that she identifies as female because it doesn't say in her profile. But it's really interesting to see a woman of color harp on the oppressor's part because, as you know, most people in the fat acceptance community, myself in the past included, spewed that, you know, the fat acceptance, body positive community was created by disabled, queer, Black women. And a lot of people say that fat phobia is rooted in racism. So to tell a Black woman that she is now an oppressor because she has lost weight is beyond wild. And I'm also just shocked to hear Jessica say that as well, because I'm not sure if she is from Ecuador or if her family is, and then she was born in the United States, but she is Hispanic. I don't know Jessica personally. I don't know all of the details of her life, but this is a plus-size fashion influencer that is telling you that she is oppressed. That I know that she is a lesbian, I know that she is Hispanic, and she has probably faced oppression in those sorts, but she is also not acknowledging her privileges. She literally has a job because she is fat. You are not oppressed because you're fat. You literally make money off of being fat. You probably get free stuff because you're fat and you have followers. She also lives in New York, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world. It is a privilege to be a business owner and to be self-employed and work from home. I am all three of those things, and I have the easiest, cushiest life. There is nothing that I could complain about. I make my own hours. I am my own boss. I do whatever I want. Sure, I'm fat. I'm 200 pounds. Well, guess what? I could go like weeks and weeks and weeks without social interaction because I do everything from my house. I eat, shit, piss, work, all in the comfort of this apartment. Not many people have that privilege of being home 24/7, being able to go to doctor's appointments whenever you need, going to the grocery store and picking up the ingredients for tonight's dinner whenever you need, rolling out of bed at noon and going and taking pictures down the street and filming a little reel. Where is the privilege? She is talking about how oppressed she is, but she is not acknowledging how much privilege she has because of her fatness. She has everything in her life because of her fatness. I know that's kind of frank, but it's like, you have a job, you have a business, you have free clothes, you have a roof over your head, you make money all because you're fat, and you have followers, and you have influence, and you have power. You're not oppressed because you're fat. You're actually doing pretty well. All right, let's read some other comments. Can't lie, you lost me at Oppressor. Some people have to lose weight because of health issues so they can live, not to be a part of the fitness club. Most people lose weight because they want to live a better life, not so they can fit into this thinness club. People lose weight because they want to be able to breathe, because they want to be able to tie their shoes, because they want to be able to wipe their own ass. Not so they can go up some sort of made up hierarchy. Not to be a part of the thinness club. That assumption alone is dangerous. You're almost shaming people for being proud of taking care of themselves. Some people need to see someone who looks like them to know that it's possible. Exactly. Is wanting to lose weight to be healthier mean you are being oppressed, or are you just trying to live a healthier life? Even if you lost it and gained it back, at least you're moving in the right direction. At least you were trying. You're right about the before and afters won't keep you from gaining back weight again, but losing weight and sharing it, making someone an oppressor, ? And then Jessica says, also keep it respectful. We all may not have the same opinion, but we deserve the same respect. See, like, how she's speaking, it doesn't seem like it is an opinion. She literally said, if you are fat and you lose weight, you were oppressed and now becoming the oppressor. Does that sound like an opinion to you? That sounds like a statement. That sounds like a fact from her mind. It is so hard to lose weight. And when I did, I was proud of myself because I never do the hard thing. I was 300 pounds and sick as hell, depressed, in pain, and uncomfortable. I healed my body so much that it reversed my severe sleep apnea, pre-diabetes, GERD, and more. It's not about the way I looked, it was about the way I felt, and that inspires people. I don't know, this is a weird take. At my heaviest, I was 478 pounds. My mobility was deteriorating so fast. Walking was very hard. I broke my ankle under my own weight. People were awful to me. I felt better off unalive. I post for people who may feel the same and who want to maybe change their situation. I looked for hope so much at my depressed and it helped me a lot. I agree with what you said, but I don't think we should be discouraging and be like, you'll gain all the weight back. Some people have to get it off for medical reasons, and there are plenty of people who keep it off. Each story is different. Don't compare. Guys, just do what's best for you. And then here's some people starting to agree. The before and afters have to stop. Losing weight is completely fine if that's your journey, but comparing yourself in that way is so harmful to yourself and others. I don't think it's harmful at all. I think it's literally just showing that you lost weight. Do what you want and need with your own body, but shaming and being cruel to larger versions of yourself hurts others now and will almost certainly hurt you later. Most people that have lost weight are very sympathetic to their bigger self. And then Jessica says, we should analyze why the idea of gaining weight after losing weight scares you so much because of aesthetics. That will help you understand my video more. These comments aren't chalking the vibe check. Your membership can be revoked at any moment. Phew. Because when will people realize that the shape and the size of our bodies is largely not in our control? That's false. Your genetics is in control of like your body fat disbursement, you know. Some people are more of an apple shape. Some people are more of a pear shape. Some people are like rectangles. That is what is genetic. But if you eat 3,000 calories every single day and you're overweight, that is because of the food that you consumed, not because of your genetics. Well, I do feel like there is a different atmosphere for fat acceptance and body positivity stuff on Instagram than on TikTok. I feel like TikTok is more pro all that stuff and Instagram is a smidge more critical. But it makes me happy to see that there is some sort of pushback to people that are still in the fat acceptance sphere, because whether we like it or not, being overweight, obese, morbidly obese, it is not healthy. And I mean, I don't think I need to tell you guys that. I just hope that more people are coming to their senses. And I hope that one day Jessica does too. This is not permission to send her any hate, and I was not trying to be mean to her, even though I was being a little bit snappy in this video. But I'm just starting to come to my breaking point when it comes to fat acceptance and hearing people spew the same shit over and over again, because a lot of the times they think that they are helping themselves and other fat people, but it is just harming themselves and other people because they are embracing the state of delusion that people are in. It is hard to accept when you are overweight, and it is due to your actions. It is a very humble experience. The great thing about realizing that you're the problem is that you are also the solution. I don't know. And then I also like see people still in the fat acceptance sphere, and I'm like, Come on, guys. I'm younger than you and I figured it out. Let's get it together. I can't snap. Let's get it together. Let's come back to reality. But reality is uncomfortable and hard, so I know. Not a lot of people reside here. Reality Club. Are you in it? Or are you out? I assume you're hanging out here instead of Delulu Island. A lot of people are jumping shore and coming back over to the Reality Club. So let me know your opinions down below. I would love to hear what you think. If you've made it this far, make sure to leave the eye emoji for all of my creepy eye art on the wall. I'm a freak. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video. And if you enjoy me, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you back again. I hope you have a great day. Take care.